Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jamie.
I'm Justina.
And this is
Just So You Know. What the heck? You didn't say it with me?
Just So You Know. 1, 2, 3. Just So You Know. This is our second episode today, guys. And
why are you telling them this?
I was distracted because I was thinking about the cat that we're going to be interviewing in a little bit after.
You see, Jamie is a funny ducky because she's like, control yourself, don't talk about it. And then that's the first thing you say.
Okay, well, guys, we're having these two brilliant entrepreneurs coming on the podcast, Jayde Nicole and Nia Campos. They run Sugar Taco. They got an incredible cookbook, and they pop up on the screen with this like adorable kitten.
Cats in particular taught me that every animal has their own personality, and just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like cats will be like, not anymore.
Yeah.
Get the heck away from me. Dogs are more like, they just take shit much more than cats do.
You know who else has their own personalities?
Us?
Whales.
Whoa.
And so today, guys, we are going to be talking about PETA's long-running campaign against SeaWorld. And we're going to be talking about Corky the whale, the longest held captive orca that is just living in a bathtub that was stolen from her family.
Horrible.
And so we're going to talk about some of those actions and also talk about the breeding that's going on at SeaWorld. They're breeding dolphins and whales.
So weird. It's like such a sick industry. No one wants to be forced to do flips and stuff like that.
No, I mean,
on your dime.
Take humans, for example. Like if I was trying to train Justina to do something, I would have to severely deprive her of food.
Or give me food.
Okay,
to do it. If you deprive me of food, I'm like, fuck you. I'm not doing shit.
Or
You're
overfeed
evil.
you. Okay.
Overfeeding me is how it works.
Okay,
me.
good to know.
Okay, yeah.
Good to know. But it would be a challenge. You would have to do something to get you to you know, let's say I was like desperately in need of a foot massage. Like likelihood of you doing that without depriving you or giving you food is
I'll do it. You know what that just made me think of?
What?
I was like, are there obese sea animals? Like, do they, because I know like a lot of land animals, they are, you know, tricked into doing things by treats. You know, I know starvation is also part of it, sadly, but like treats are like the easiest, nicest way most trainers do things, right? Mm-hmm. Do sea animals get obese?
I mean, the orca whales have to be able to put their stomachs over the like edge of that pool so that they can pick the trainers up. So
I know, but they're big, so it's like hard to know. Like, it's like, is that an obese orca?
So there's some
or are there obese dolphins?
No, I think what they do is they deprive them of food, and then when they do the trick, then they'll get fed.
Okay, so it's the starvation, and then.
So we're going to get Nia and Jayde's perspective on SeaWorld. They've participated in a few actions over the years with against SeaWorld and with PETA. And also what's super cool is their restaurant, Sugar Taco. They have this collaboration with PETA where they make these drinks that are in favor of boycotting SeaWorld Day.
Mm-hmm. I've actually had one of those drinks.
Really?
Very tasty.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So
at one of PETA events.
It's such a cute and creative way to get the message across and to just in everyday society to slide in the message of like, don't go to SeaWorld.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this before, but SeaWorld was very traumatizing for me.
People should definitely go listen to our episode on SeaWorld. We do a deep dive into the history of SeaWorld and the animals that have been there, PETA's longstanding campaigns against them. But in this episode, I want to get their perspective on just being, you know, everyday people with children and activists, how they talk to their children about SeaWorld. Maybe, you know, Nia's going to be a mother of 4 soon. And
what?
Yeah.
Girl.
And so
must be vegan.
Of course. And so I want to hear like what's the best way of like telling your kids to like avoid
this is not
that.
a fun place.
Right.
We're not going to go to SeaWorld.
And instead we should go somewhere else.
Right.
So just to give people a little history of the campaigns that PETA is running against SeaWorld right now is they're trying to get SeaWorld to surrender Corky to a sanctuary.
Surrender Corky. Stop the freaking wait. What is happening?
So Corky is I have it right here, the saddest, longest held captive orca.
Sadness.
And a seaside sanctuary is a place that you know, ultimately when animals are bred into captivity or in captivity for so long, there's worry that they wouldn't be able to survive on their own in the wild. So a seaside sanctuary would at least give them more space and freedom to feel the ocean currents, but still be in some type of enclosure where they're fed.
Right. It's they don't get any fresh water. That's sick.
Yeah, these animals can swim up to 140 miles a day, and instead they're kept in a tank that's really
dirty and gross and toxic.
But it's equivalent to a bathtub for them, for their size. So Corky's been in there for over 50 years in this concrete tank.
So fucked up.
What's even more fucked up is she was forced to breed, and so they made her breed. Her babies all died.
They all died?
Miscarried, yeah.
Oh, and no, because she's probably fucking stressed.
Absolutely.
Not probably, she is stressed.
Yeah. And orcas are very social animals, so they want to be with their pods
family.
and their families. And in the wild, orcas don't just like date whoever they want. They have to know their mate and their partner, and they choose who they want to mate with. And same goes for dolphins. So
that's
SeaWorld.
So sick.
SeaWorld's breeding whales and dolphins. They're not breeding orcas. They're breeding other kinds of whales at SeaWorld. And they have to forcefully impregnate the dolphins, jerk off male dolphins.
Sick, twisted.
They sedate the female dolphins, impregnate them, and then these animals are born and they're forced to live a life in captivity. It's horrendous.
It really is horrendous. Like I said earlier, not something anyone should be proud of.
You shouldn't be masturbating anybody unless it's consensual.
Like, don't masturbate any animal. Like, what the fuck? That's just like sicko 101.
It is so weird.
It's sicko point 0.00001.
Who one day said, like, I am going to take this dolphin penis.
I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Okay.
I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Okay. It's just like the most disturbing thing ever. Honestly, like, I'm just kind of like, it pisses me off. It almost brings me to tears because it's just like,
it's just uncomfortable too. It's like, why are we doing this? Well, they're doing it for money.
Money, exactly.
Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about that with Nia and Jayde in a little bit. And before we get there, I also just want to mention that it is super important as activists and vegans that we also have businesses that give people an alternative option to eating meat, to going to places like SeaWorld. And one of the reasons that I'm so excited to have Nia and Jayde on is because they're doing just that. These, women entrepreneurs, they're taking their skill sets and they've created a restaurant. I mean, Sugar Taco is amazing. It's delicious. I remember I went there a few months back and I was like, this is so cool. Like they're bringing classic cuisine, into parts of LA where people can go, they can enjoy their Latin food and not feel that they're missing anything.
Right.
And they also have a cookbook.
And it's so simple. It's so simple. Like we were talking about this on the other episode. It's like, okay, activism can look so different and like it could be done in like a sweet giving way, Yeah. And that is the one way to give back. It's through people's bellies.
For sure. Such a good way to draw people in.
Exactly.
Shall we invite the ladies on?
I'm Nia Gatica Campos. I went first vegetarian when I was about 9 or 10 years old. I was eating a cheeseburger and I paused mid-bite and said, Mom, do cows die and we make them into cheeseburgers, or do we kill them to make cheeseburgers? And she was like, no, baby, we kill them to make cheeseburgers. And I set it down, ran to my room, bawled my eyes out, and was like, I'm never eating that again. Why would you give that to me? And she kind of laughed. And then after about a week of me not eating anything she cooks, they took it more seriously. Yeah, exactly. Protesting. They went and bought me Boca burgers and I think vegetarian bologna. Those were about the only products then in stores you could get. And then a few years later, I was vegetarian, been vegetarian for years. And then I actually went on PETA's website because I thought, if they don't treat animals really well in slaughterhouses, they probably aren't treating them very well at dairy farms or at egg farms. And so I learned that is correct. They do not. And I went vegan.
Wow. That's incredible. What about you, Jayde?
Vegetarian my whole life, basically.
Oh, wow.
I was about, I want to say 4 or 5 when I was eating a pork chop, and my stepdad at the time told me that it was this pig that I was friends with at my family's farm.
No.
So super traumatized, never ate meat again. And vegan, oh my God, I don't keep track. It's been a while. I want to say maybe like 10 years at least. And it was actually from a PETA video on eggs.
Wow.
Because this is when like social media started and I was posting all animal stuff. I had an animal rescue and some vegans came on and were really mean to me, actually. And were like, you don't love animals if you aren't vegan, like vegetarians, even worse. And I was like everyone does, like I reacted very defensive and was like, no, I love animals. Like, what are you talking about? And it kept happening. And so finally, I literally went on to the Instagram and I watched the video and I was like, I didn't want to go vegan. Like, I was not ready to make the change.
Right.
And I saw it and I was like, now that I know, I just can't not know.
See,
like, there's no
people being mean
going
helps.
back.
That's why I was pointing at you. Not that like you're that mean person, but like it helps sometimes to be called out because
you know, the biggest thing to me and what I try to do now is that when I was being called out and they were being mean to me, I didn't understand.
right.
So I just felt like they were rude.
Right.
And it made me angry.
But it made
didn't
you watch the video.
it was like enough times of people saying it where I took it upon myself to research, which I don't
Right.
think a lot of people do. Because I was like, the first person I was like, okay, you are obviously have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
And after it was like the second or third person, I was like, okay, maybe I should research. And then I did research it. If the first person had explained to me, I would have gone vegan probably several months prior to that. I think a lot of people don't, they get that offended stage and they don't get to the next stage, which is researching. Because I truly did love animals. So I was like, okay, now I need to look into this a little bit. But I mean, not to say that I wasn't a mean vegan and that I'm not a mean vegan, because sometimes I don't have the patience or energy.
So you said that, you know, now you have a different approach. You both are entrepreneurs. I want you to talk a little bit how you first connected with each other and then started Sugar Taco. Everybody knows Sugar Taco.
Well, we started being friends because I slid into her DMs about beach cleanups.
Oh, nice.
Because I didn't really have any friends that cared about the environment or animals. It was just me. And so when I saw her doing a beach cleanup, I was like, I've always wanted to do this, but I don't have anyone to do it with. And then I also had a need for someone to help manage my dog rescue at the time. And so I asked her if she knew anyone, and she was like, me. And I was like, okay, perfect.
It's like us. I was like, me.
Yeah. It's like one of us is very like ideas. The other one is like gets it done. So.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
I had done some vegan catering stuff on my own. Because when I went vegan, there was really nothing vegan. There was like one vegan restaurant, and it was pretty terrible. No offense. And I had to learn how to cook. But prior to that, I couldn't even make a box of Kraft mac and cheese correctly. But I learned how to cook and bake pretty well. And I started catering some of the, like Beagle Freedom Project and some other organizations when they would have their fundraising galas. I would do like the desserts for them and stuff like that. Cool. And so then when Jayde and I started working together, she had been a partner in multiple different businesses, different nightclubs and restaurants. And she wanted to leave that and asked me if I wanted to do a fully vegan project with her. And we were, you know, very, very naive and
optimistic.
We love that.
Excited.
You learn as you go. Yeah.
Quit everything we were doing and started doing that, which was pretty crazy but also fun. It was a wild time. I also that same week that Jayde registered our business, I also found out I was going to be pregnant and be a single mom. So Jayde became an auntie. We had my baby with us at all of our fundraising meetings.
Oh, you were like, I could be your business partner if you will be my baby daddy.
Basically, yeah. We brought him to everything. We'd be like at taco street fests with like a newborn baby, just walking around trying all the different tacos. And
the baby was the mascot.
He was like strapped to me while we were doing construction. He was on my hip while we were taking our first orders.
So you both do a lot of activism. I mean, you mentioned a dog rescue, beach cleanups.
Right.
That's super important. I came across a protest in 2017 that was against SeaWorld. Can you talk a little bit about that? Why you decided to bear it all for the animals, and what was the message behind that?
As you saw, our naked bodies were painted like orcas. And we're always ready to go the extra mile or do anything extreme to make a point for animals. It was really a no-brainer. I mean, we've both been against SeaWorld for many, many years. I can't even believe that it's something we even still have to fight. But yeah, it was a very hot day. I was heavily pregnant.
Hot.
I was like 8 months pregnant at the time with my first son. And yeah, we were all kneeling on burning hot asphalt. I think it
was literally, straight in sunlight. Like it felt like we were like on a frying pan.
I think we were both just getting through it. Like the animals suffer so much worse than this.
Right.
Yeah. And I was like chosen to kneel in the middle, and everyone like did a die off. So everyone was like laying, but for whatever reason, they wanted me to kneel in the center, like squat kneel, which I thought like, oh, awesome. I have the easier job, until I actually sat in a kneel position. And within like, I want to say 60 seconds, both my legs lost all feeling. And people thankfully were going and buying ice and like throwing ice at us, because we were supposed to be dead. So there's no moving, no talking for a whole hour. And so everyone that participated in that is a trooper, honestly, because like Nia said, I just kept being like, okay, if I can't sit in this position for an hour, like these animals are trapped in captivity their whole lives.
It sounds like that was very beneficial for you guys to get the message, even for yourselves, to like not stop, like to not stop your activism, having that perspective of like what the animals are probably going through.
Yeah, it just makes you realize that what you're going through is like 1/1000th of the difficulty. So we manned up. However, Nia and other people did have to pick me up to get me in the van after, because I couldn't walk for like an hour.
Oh my God.
But I think it was a successful protest. I think a lot of people paid attention, and we, had a lot of media kind of pick it up, and a lot of people come and like talk to the PETA people around us about what we were doing. So
yeah, and I don't know if we covered this already. I don't think we did, but I think it was a really important visual for people, because we did it in a public setting, because each of us represented one of the orcas that have died at SeaWorld. I think as of today there are 44, but that's not including some of the orcas that died in utero. Like I was actually representing one of the orcas who died, along with her baby who died inside her. So obviously that's horrific, and something that a lot of people, who might not be very well versed in activism or animal rights might not even know is happening. Like maybe they know, okay, people are against having them in captivity, but I don't think they realize the depth of the suffering and the losses that are occurring there.
I think the general public, the reason that we're able to do the things that we do to these animals is because we other them. And we say that, oh, they're just whales. Oh, yeah, they live in the ocean. They're different from us. And so that perpetuates this idea that we're allowed to continue doing the things that we do to animals and have dominion over them and make them jump through hoops. Or, we did an episode on circuses where bears are balancing on balls. It's absurd. And it's this like supremacy that we think that we have over other species. So what do you want people to know specifically about the orcas and about Corky?
For me, it's just like, I used to go to SeaWorld. I was that person. I used to go to SeaWorld. I used to volunteer at aquariums, and I truly like thought that I loved these animals, and I would watch them and I would just think like, oh, they're happy. They're in water. Like I would never, I think your brain doesn't open to things you don't want to know, because you want to be able to continue to do that. And I wanted to be close to these animals. I swam with the belugas. I went in like I did the behind the scenes, like I did all of it. And I think that the important thing to know is like, these animals are not happy. If you think they look happy, the dolphins, or they're doing tricks, so you think like, oh my God, they're so happy in their environment. They're absolutely miserable. It is a prison. They do not want to be there. They're forced to be there. They get attacked by other animals that are also forced to be there. They get sick, they die, and they just suffer the entire time just so you can see an animal. And it's just not necessary at all. So just don't buy a ticket, don't go. educate yourself, tell your friends and family. Like it's not worth it for the animals for you to have that experience.
Right.
And for Corky, like it's not too late. She doesn't have to suffer the same fate as all the other 44 orcas who have died there. Obviously, her life has been ruined up until this point, but we could give her a different end of her life. She could be put in a sanctuary. She could have more freedom. It could be much different, and we owe her that. And I think that, sorry, my cat is climbing over.
That cat is gorgeous.
He's been, Jayde mentioned the screen was shaking. It's because he's been trying to get up here the entire time.
And now he doesn't want to. Now he's like, okay, enough. I had 5 seconds. I'm done.
He wants to jump on the computer. But yeah, I just think like to really stress that right now is the time that we have to act if we want her outcome to be different from all the rest. Like making me gonna cry.
Besides not buying a ticket, what else can they do in order to take more action and so that this happens sooner than later?
Yeah, I mean, spreading awareness, obviously, like talking to your friends and family. All of us probably have family members who still frequent parks like SeaWorld. They think that there's no big deal. So even if we're not buying tickets like they are, we really need to be spreading the message. Also, posting on social media, putting pressure on SeaWorld to know that the public has turned against them. And won't be turned back. I think contacting legislators, like one of the biggest changes we can make as activists is to put legislation in place to stop these horrific crimes against animals. Jayde, I'm sure that there's lots of.
Well, I mean, PETA has a bunch of campaigns you can follow and and sign petitions and send emails. Like the one thing I love is like the PETA app. I downloaded it. You can literally hit one button and it like sends an email to the right people about the topics. And like, sometimes like I'll send 100 in a day, just like going through it. And I think, there's other animal organizations that fight against this too. So supporting them, donating to them, signing the petitions, sending the emails. Well, truly.
You guys are getting creative with it. You created drinks at Sugar Taco.
To
protest SeaWorld. Tell me about that.
So we try to make it as fun as possible. We always call it like fun, easy activism because not everybody is ready to like stand outside of SeaWorld in the hot sun with a sign or like confront, their family members. Right. And so we partnered with PETA for an Empty the Tanks cocktail and mocktail. That's super cute. And it allows people to, come and just have a drink and enjoy themselves while also supporting, the campaign against SeaWorld. And we had a lot of people posting and tagging and we're obviously all banned from SeaWorld's Instagram. It helps when other people hop in.
So what do you tell your children, Nia, when it comes to places like SeaWorld?
Well, I don't really have to tell them anything about that. My son, Rio, who's my oldest, he's 6.5. He's like the most ultimate vegan you could ever meet.
He's more vegan than us, I swear. I've never experienced anything like this before. He will like save bugs off the ground and like yell at everyone. If another kid like touches a bug hard, he's like, don't hurt the bug. Like, what are you doing? Like he's max vegan.
He'll cry. If someone steps on a line of ants, it's like, he's really, I don't know, he just gets it. Like I thought I would have to explain more, but he has learned about SeaWorld or saw it, and he says, that's really sad. Why would they have orcas in that small of a space? Like, why, Mama, why are the animals trapped there? Like, he gets that it's not right, and he thinks, zoos are not right. So for him, I don't really have to explain. The younger ones, we do a little bit. We talk about why this isn't right. Like, this is not their home. It would be like taking a person and locking them in a closet, and that's all that you could experience. But mostly I think, and I say this a lot because as a vegan and I'm on social media, I post about motherhood, and people, especially in the past, would say a lot of things like, oh, it's not right that you're forcing veganism on your kids. And ultimately, I think that's kind of funny because we all make choices for our children and for ourselves. Like, and whether you're, sorry, there's a helicopter overhead, whether, you're eating an animal-based diet, you're also forcing that on your kids. But I think that once you present kids with the truth, I have never met a child that knows the truth and chooses to eat something or participate in something that harms an animal.
Well, the kids mirror their behavior usually off of their parents, and so
whoever they're surrounded by.
Yeah, so I mean, you're a great example, Nia, but is your partner also vegan?
Yes, he's a vegan chef, actually. We met
Our chef.
Amazing.
we met because he became our chef for Sugar Taco, and I didn't know that he would also become my husband.
Aw, I love that. That's so sweet.
With food, when you're given meat and told it's food growing up, every meal, eat your food, eat your food, eat your food. You don't associate it with animals. And by the time you're old enough to realize you've been eating meat your whole life and being told it's food, so you believe it's food.
Right.
That's exactly
But
what
if
happened to
you're
me.
told at the very beginning, this is an animal, like, then you would be like, no, thank you.
Yeah,
Because you don't associate
died.
animals with food. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So you guys also have a cookbook, and I want you to tell us a little bit about that, what people can expect, and where they can buy it. So exciting.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you asked. I'm prepared with props. Yes, our cookbook, Sugar Taco at Home.
Cute.
We're very excited about this. It's our first cookbook. You can buy it online, pretty much anywhere books are sold, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, a lot of local bookstores too. You can check your local bookstore or ask them to carry it.
It's so beautiful.
It is.
It's
We're very proud of it.
colorful.
Wow.
That's one thing about Sugar Taco. You guys are very, your brand is very beautiful. It's very eye-catching.
Yeah, we really wanted to target non-vegans.
Right.
Was our goal from the very beginning. We're like, vegans will eat vegan food.
Right.
They're not, we don't have to sway them. We don't have to provide them. Like, we welcome them, of course, but our goal was always to have people who aren't vegan, people who are trying to cut back, or people who have never tried vegan food before, to really come in. And I think this cookbook takes it a step further where, we're local. We are fortunate to have 2 locations in the LA area, but we have a lot of customers that visit, try, and then go back home to New York or Texas or Florida or wherever else that are like constantly, please open a Sugar Taco here. Please open a Sugar Taco here. And we're only 2 people. We can only do so much. So we're like, you know what?
Relax. Do you have the money for this, y'all? Or?
Yeah, the cookbook is like, okay, now everyone can have Sugar Taco in their home, no matter where they live.
I love that.
It's available in Canada as well. So it's like, it allows us to be more places and influence more people and provide people with easy to follow, delicious vegan recipes that they can make at home.
Right.
And it has like a lot of our super favorites, like our fish taco that people are like obsessed with, our quesadilla cheese.
Wow. You're dropping
like
all
it
the
has
secrets.
it has all the goods in there.
Cool.
And our churros, cakes, margaritas, like literally everything. There's over 100 recipes.
Whoa.
So we're really excited to be able to do it, and we hope everyone enjoys it. We've already gotten so many people like taking photos of food they're cooking and tagging us, and
we have
it's
to
been
do
awesome.
this. It definitely is something that we have to stop looking at as a sacrifice. And also, it's like we need to stop taking things from others that were not ours to take in the first place. And that ties back into SeaWorld. We need to stop using others to entertain us.
Right.
Entertain. So why don't you both share where everybody can find you, and also where they can find Sugar Taco, and any last things that you wanted to add on that we didn't get to cover.
You can find Sugar Taco on Instagram at Sugar Taco, and on TikTok, and the handle is eat@SugarTaco. My handle is Nia Gatica Campos on everything.
I mean, you covered it. I'm Jayde Nicole on Instagram, but mostly go to Sugar Taco, get the cookbook, and wherever you are, eat vegan.
Yes.
Support vegan restaurants, vegan businesses.
Yeah.
I want a taco.
I want a fucking taco.
Oh my god.
Talk about it. I want a taco.
No, seriously, can we get
Talking about
tacos
it.
after this?
Low-key, yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there won't be Sugar Taco, but we'll go to a taco spot.
I just have to say, I love beautiful, smart women that are taking charge, that are doing artistic demos, that are trying to get the message across in any way possible to spread the message to make the world a better place.
Right. It's not easy.
And also they said that they started this sugar taco business. They didn't know what they were doing, and you just figure it out.
Right. You just have to take a risk. Look, know your shit as much as possible. Know that you don't know everything. You're going to learn more. And just why not take a crazy chance? Why not? Why not do a crazy dance? If you lose the moment, you might lose a lot. So why not? I feel like Doja Cat right now. She like sang a Hilary Duff song, and her the generation that was there, your generation, had no idea what she was talking about.
That was just painful.
Hilary Duff, you don't know Hilary Duff?
I know Hilary Duff.
Why not take a crazy chance?
If you're going to talk about Hilary Duff, there's that song, and it's I'm gonna be your number one.
That is not even her song. She did a cover of that song.
Okay.
Well, get out of here.
That's how I know her. I love Hilary Duff's movie where she's like in Rome and she meets that hot guy, and then they like.
If that's called the Lizzie McGuire movie, not the Hilary Duff movie. Okay.
Lizzie McGuire.
We all know Jamie does not know her Disney facts.
And then she meets her twin, who's like this Italian twin.
It's not her twin. And they just so happen to look like each other. They're not twins.
They're identical, and she plays her. So,
but it's not her twin.
Okay.
Okay.
That's absurd.
She said that's absurd.
Okay, we've covered so much in this episode. SeaWorld, Sugar Taco, Lizzie McGuire. Please let us know, guys, the next topics you want us to cover. We want to hear from you and get it together.
Okay.
I'm at It's Jamie's Corner.
I'm at Justina.Justina.
Follow Just So You Know podcast. Rate us. Subscribe.
Share us. And share us.
Yeah, we want to hear from you. We want to get these topics out there and to your friends, and we want to stop people from going to places like SeaWorld.
Exactly. So if you are already vegan, you are doing the movement an injustice by not sharing our episodes, okay? So this is another call to action. Share a podcast. Look through our topics of episodes and share it if you think someone needs to hear that specific message.
Yep, and be sure to get your Sugar Taco cookbook, give them a follow, and follow PETA. And without further ado,
We'll be back.
And we'll be back. We'll be back.